Greetings, dear viewers. Today, on the topic of humanitarianism, you will hear experts answering critical questions and raising the truth. We are here to be able to bring awareness regarding the situation in humanitarian in our society, understand what is not necessarily working in this field, what could be the solution to improve, and what would be the benefits brought by the creative society.
Greetings, dear viewers, and we are glad to welcome here today with us a freelance social worker, global goodwill ambassador, entrepreneur, and a global citizen, Shoaib Habib Memon from Pakistan. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
We also have a humanitarian and director of Alliance Child Development Initiative, Uganda, East Africa, Mookova Deniz from Uganda. Welcome.
Greetings, listeners and viewers. I am Mookova Deniz from Uganda, East Africa. Welcome.
Yes, and welcome, dear guests. Your activities as humanitarian suggest these activities to support people in difficult situation, like in this difficult situation, maybe due to various factors. And we would like to discuss with you what are the dysfunctions, what is not working properly, and what you can see in the current structure of helping people who are in need. How this ever-growing need for supporting each other is evolving over the years. And for example, we have currently different geopolitical situation, pandemics, natural cataclysms keep on happening. So how you can see this situation, whether it's really like a ever-growing need for support for each other?
I have I want to share some data of the National Disaster Management Authority, Pakistan. In this time, the flash flood, the report on 28 July 2022, the current floods have resulted in 357 deaths. Thousands are injured. About 25,000 houses has been damaged, moreover. 1,977 kilometer road infrastructure has vanished. About 60 bridges are collapsed. Sindh and Balochistan provinces of Pakistan are most affected. Even in the district of Thatta, where I am living, the bridge, the Fakir Jo Goat, the bridge has collapsed. Several peoples are worried, but no, international community, international pharmaceutical companies, the developed countries, they still not a support. So humanitarian. So how we can, people's. The needy peoples cannot survive without the humanitarian aid in this time. So situation so bad. People are starving in this time. The situation of the Sri Lanka, and we are going to a same situation in Pakistan, and we are seeing the same situation in Pakistan. So we are very worried about that. Why international community not extend the hands? Why the international communities, the capitalist persons, the pharmaceutical companies, the multinational companies are not supporting the underdeveloped countries? So it's a very, bad situation, very worst condition in this time. The question is not that individual donate for better the society. Question is state that why the multinational companies don't support to the underprivileged communities, the developed countries. So multinational companies and different pharmaceutical companies, that after COVID-19, many multinational companies earn many more money. just for a profit. But so why they are not using their money for the people of underprivileged communities? And the funds we are demanding to the social medias, we are demanding to the different sectors. But main reason is that why the multinations companies are silent, why they are not extend their hands. So it's a very bad situation in the world.
That's a very good point that you just raised regarding the usage, I think, of this money, because we can see that all of the major organizations, they are providing publicly the funding that they collect every year, and we can see that this amount of money keep on raising year after year, and 2022 is a new record on how much money those organizations are expecting to actually gather to be able to help this ever-growing amount of people in need. But I think, as you mentioned, these fundings are not coming to the people in need because they cannot get their house, they cannot build their house again, they cannot reconstruct the infrastructure of their cities after such cataclysm happen. So it seems that the structure or the processes of all of those organizations is not unified, that they are working independently to each other, that it seems in facade that they might be helping, but in practice, as you just mentioned, people are not really helped the way they should be. So that's really an idea of every single person needs to be aware. Mention is good to make them aware, yes, but especially the people working for those organizations, for them to understand that maybe those organizations are not functioning perfectly or the best they could do to really help people. And that's really something that we need to check, and that's very true. I wanted to ask the same question to our other guest, Mookova, on what do you see as the problems in your view regarding humanitarianism? What are the problems that you face maybe, or that maybe your country face, the people that you see in need? Can you tell us more on those issues?
As a humanitarian, I've seen these challenges, and since childhood I've been seeing these challenges. Personally, I would not condemn all charity organizations. I would not condemn all non-government organizations. As a youth, I grew up from an orphanage. Since 7 years up to around 19, I was in an orphanage. I was paid education for, I was given food, I was given medication and everything. But on the other hand, still, regarding some other organizations, as in creative society, we are trying to fight the poverty, we are trying to fight the inequality, we are trying to fight all the bad things. On the other side of the organizations, I think if we are to fight these things, we should go through charity organizations, NGOs. I am a charity founder, but I support creative society for a reason. There have been charities for over 100 years. There have been organizations, big organizations for 100 years, hundreds and hundreds of years. But I don't know whether these projects are, I don't know whether poverty itself is a project. I really don't understand if poverty itself is a project, whereby these very people funding these projects, I don't know whether they don't want poverty to end. I really don't understand, because if the idea was to fight poverty, if the idea was to fight hunger, if the idea was to fight diseases and all that thing, I think by all these years, it would be done. It would be nowhere to be seen. You know, I've grown up seeing big organizations, USA, the UK. I've been seeing many organizations here in Uganda, in Africa, in the world, but there is nothing, there is no change. So as a humanitarian, I came up to join Creative Society. I have a charity organization, right? But I came up to join the Creative Society so that we can see a better way where we should not have any organization. We should not have charity organizations, but everyone will be able to get food. Everyone will be having access to medication, access to good quality services, and everyone will be equal to each other.
Thank you so much for your choice and for giving your example. And when we will see in the society more examples like your ones, right? When charity organizations support creative society, also join this wave of informing people about this opportunity for the whole humanity, the faster we can build it. And the faster we can really help people who are in need today in many different spheres. Can you also see, like in your field, how these changes, the significant changes may come, right? So like maybe what is needed to really help people in your sphere of work, and what is really required for that?
The humanitarian aid is so important, but we have done without the humanitarian aid. I always, first of all, I started the work when I have nothing. I collect the used clothes and I pack the used clothes, and I am still distributing in different areas where they need. So it's not if you have a funds, you have to work, but if you are a humanitarian, if you have a sense, if you have a humanity heart, you can change the society. You can create a society. Funds is a very essential. Play the vital role. But if you have no funds, so it's not a mean that you will not work. You cannot improve yourself. You cannot help to the humanity. So of course we help to the humanity without funds. If we drain the water from our area without funds, it's a humanity. You help to each other. It's a humanity. You are aware to the any person from HIV, AIDS, and the different disease sectors. You are doing the humanity without funds. So awareness, it's not depend upon the funds. Awareness, you're gonna talk. It's a humanity. I'm talking to you about the underprivileged society, about the underprivileged communities. So it is a humanity, because I am delivering my speech. I am delivering my talking about the humanity. It's a awareness. So, but humanitarian aid is very important. We talk about the humanitarian aid, and you said that a humanitarian aid, the different multinational companies like food companies and other pharmaceutical companies. Question is that why the capitalist person they are not extending their hands? Why the situation they are spoiling every country? So every person know I think the multinational companies, they have a corporate social responsibility. They work is a ground, but they do nothing. They have no physically work. They just aware the sessions in different colleges and university. But we need more. We need more. We need more in the world.
If we have helped the suffering people, the poor people, there is what they call participatory development, whereby you include the people who are affected, right? If you are supporting the poor, if you are supporting those who are suffering from HIV, you have to use those who have HIV. If you want to support people who don't have food, you have to use those who don't have food. But the only big challenge you have is that the so-called rich people, they are the ones who are being entrusted to support the very poor people. I think there is a mismatch. We should use the poor people to support the poor people. We should use those affected with HIV/AIDS to support those affected with HIV/AIDS. That's called the participatory development, whereby someone who is affected is put into the development process, is included in the development process, is included in the supporting process. Because this person has it on heart He understands well how it feels to be poor. He understands well how it feels to sleep when you don't have food. He understands well what it means to have kids and they are not going to school. So we should go down to earth, down on the ground, down to the villages and get these people, empower these people no matter whether they are educated or not educated. We should empower these people to support others. And the other idea is, of course, we should, if you are to fight hunger, we should get these modified, are they called genetically modified seeds? And animals, we should get these things and bring to these suffering states. We bring to Uganda, we bring to South Sudan, we take to different areas. I think this is one of supporting, because, if you are growing corn and corn is growing in 2 months, unlike this one of ours, which goes for 3 to 4 months, sometimes 5. So this supports and this helps to improve the life of these people.
I would like to highlight some of what you said. Help coming from the bottom to the top. We are usually thinking the top, those organizations, they are in charge, so they should be able to help the masses. But at the end, we realize that, as you mentioned, for so many years, those organizations have been supposedly helping people, but we still have those problems of anger. So maybe indeed, the best way to do this is to empower the masses and to be able to help each other into this unity and making sure we can finally do something concrete that helps people. So I really like this way of presenting it. The other things that you mentioned, it's about providing those people the way to empower those people with maybe money, but also technology in terms of bringing water everywhere we want, and there is already this kind of technology that exists. So being able to develop more and more the usage of those technology. In terms of farming, you were talking about seeds. We know that there is also a different ways of farming, different methods, vertical farmings, when we have a usage of water, of soil that is reduced by more than 80%, and you can have so much more food grown with so few soil and water, so much more efficient. So that's definitely indeed some of those solution that already exist, and I re-emphasize about this. It's already there, that we need to bring awareness to people so that could develop even more. And typically in a creative society, that is exactly what we will be using, the tools that we'll be using to make the society a better place for everybody. I wanted to move on to indeed bringing the creative society, this idea of a creative society and the benefits of the creative society, having the human being as the main goal, the highest value in society, and then having everything around built for the human being. That's really the main benefits of the creative society, and being able to bring the right technology to the right person. Also talking about funding, making sure that the creative society will not have everybody earning the same amount of money. Some people will earn more, but the more you earn, the more you're tempted, or you will be reinvesting the money that you have into the society to make it a better place, rather than holding it into your bank, into your vault, as it is the case in the consumer format of society. So that's typically one of the big advantage of the creative society, talking about funds and how we can allocate those funds to sustain the society. So from those benefits that we can hear from that the creative society, I wanted to ask you the question: how do you see the creative society helping out in your field of humanitarianism and helping people on the ground for a better future?
Actually, first of all, I think the creative society is, how we can change the betterment society. I think a betterment society we can change through awareness. So creative society is the name of this. It's not a creative society, but it's the name of, how work. It's a name of the marvelous work. If you don't be a marvelous work, you do nothing. If you silence everything, so it's not a question of a silence. If its answer is that you have to work in every field, and in every field. It's a humanitarian mean. You have to work in every field, in a climate change, and elementary poverty, and so you can, I think, create a society.
So from your answer, I can understand that the idea of the awareness, bringing awareness, is not about climate situation that we are currently having, and it's not more about like ecological situation, but about this real global crisis that is happening around us. And the way out of this situation is to build in a creative society, meaning without any revolution, in a peaceful way, reorganizing the structure of society, the relationships between people. The idea came from a lot of 10 years of questionnaire asking people all around the world in what kind of world they would like to live. From these answers, we got 8 foundations, where first of all, human's life should be in the first place, and like many benefits person will get when he will live in great society, like, for example, income that is unconditioned. So by the right of birth, a person will get money, and he or she can even change the field of study or the field of work in later on. And the society will also provide place of living, free education, free medicine, and many, many more. And explaining this to people, bringing this awareness that we together can build this type of society, rearrange and get rid of corruptions, for example. That's more about creative society, bringing awareness about this chance.
Yeah, free from corruption is very important in every country, but we want to the transparency. Without if you give to the money to anybody, if any organizations, if you have no transparency, you can do nothing, and you become the defaulter. So if you have a sense of a work, if you want to the work for a humanity, if you want to the work for a people, your people, if you want to the work under privilege, so you have to transparent person. So first of all, you have to change your mind and become the transparent.
That's very true. I mean, the change is coming from every single of us, and that's how the creative society will be created, to have everybody united and changes. It seems that people at this point, they feel that there is no other ways. It's the way that is, and we need to fix situation with what we know, with what we already have in place. But as we mentioned during this discussion, it's not really the best way to do it, because if it was, all of those problems will be already solved. So the creative society is really an alternative, a completely different structure to put in place by people to make sure the benefits that we discussed will be accessible to everybody. The question I wanted to ask you is, we talked about the creative society, the benefits of the creative society into the field of humanitarianism. What is those benefits that you see personally with the creative society being built?
Of course, when the creative society is implemented, of course, every person will be having access to all the needs, access to education, access to housing, access to food, access to everything. So that's the benefit I see, that there will be equality, there will be less income inequality. So there will be access to all the basic needs for every person. So that's a great benefit to me. If everyone is having access to medication, having access to all the basic needs, that's the best thing for me.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you mentioned there is many different things that not everybody have access. And the summary is that there shouldn't be any difference on Earth regarding what can be provided to a human being. By being born, you should be able to have access of all of those things. And those are the benefits that are inherent into a human being and shouldn't be aligned to the fact that you're living in one country or another, if you have one status or another. Creative society, there is no status. Everybody has the same status, a human being. Nobody is above the others, and everybody is working together. So that's really one of the benefits that we can see, and I'm glad that you brought those benefits, because it's very important for people to understand. Once again, we are almost here to help people to unlearn what they've learned about what a society should look like, so they can actually learn a different way, a way that they couldn't even imagine, but is actually very possible to put in place. So thank you very much, actually, for both of you to be able to bring those benefits and explanation from your humanitarian perspective on how we should help people, because by helping people, we make everybody equal. If the poor people can become less poor and live in a better condition, that will make the entire civilization move forward. And bring the whole potential from all of those people that currently don't have any chance to really bring their full potential because of their situation.
Yeah, it's really a very an interesting concept that really requires some time to understand, and requires some efforts, like from a person who just heard about creative society. And, like when you finally understand what is it? It's really when you unlearned about what you already seen from the history for 6,000 years of our current civilization, what has happened throughout the history. So you understand that living in peaceful society is so natural. Living in society where people are working together with each other, having one goal and united by one goal. It's really a different experience, and you also can really understand it when you are just really understand that we really can build it. If we are from all people all over the world, will understand the easiness and the simplicity of this idea, just changing the mindset and understanding that it's real, it's possible. And we all can bring politicians to power who can implement 8 foundations of creative society in the laws of all the countries, and make these first steps to this electoral platform. And but before that, we really need to be united on one idea, and it's really a huge chance for all of us. Maybe you have to add for it, or you want to wish something for our viewers?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I'm first of all, I'm once again very thankful to Creative Society. They gave the opportunity to talk about the global crisis. So it's a very nice to talk with you about that, about Creative Society. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Our viewers, our brothers and sisters all over the world who have endeavored to give their hearts, minds, and souls to the Creative Society project for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of everyone in the world. We want a better world with equality, freedom for everyone, information to everyone, access to services. So I call upon everyone to come and join the Creative Society. Come and volunteer. Come and let's work together. Come and volunteer with us, as I'm volunteering in Uganda, together with many sisters and brothers, Sister Cynthia, Abito, Brother Kateba Mahad, and very many we are volunteering. So I call upon the entire world to come and volunteer and join us, and we create the Creative Society together.
Very inspiring and profound message. And from both of you, thank you very much for your participation today. You are actually a true hero because you're really voicing the truth for people. We talked about this awareness that we need to bring to people so they can really comprehend what we are trying to build here. It has to come from them. We cannot really change people. We can explain that as much as we can so they can really comprehend and start acting also on their own. And that's exactly what we are doing. So don't be silent. Reach out to us, share and spread the information. That's the most vital thing that we can do today.
Yes, thank you again, our dear guests, and thank you, Jonathan, for a wonderful conclusion. It really depends only on us how fast we can proceed with creative society. The truth is spreading very fast, and if you really understand what is happening in your field, and we would like to talk openly about it, also please write to us. Write at the email at info@creativesociety.com. Be a part of this wave and tell it to everyone you know and you don't know, in order to make this information spread as fast as possible, because the future of our civilization depends on us, on people who are living nowadays, and we can be this point that can really change the whole format of our world. So thank you so much, dear viewers, and see you next time.